My name is Karin Jacobson, and I design and make jewelry out of my studio in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, these are about as low-tech as you can go, but I love my gravers. I have an onglet here and a couple of flat gravers. I use these to clean up my stone settings, particularly with bezel settings. They do a great job cleaning up the inside of the setting right around the stone. It gets a nice little shiny reflective light line right around the stone and really makes everything look crisp and clean and really precise and really tidy. And then of course it does help to be able to use the microscope for that as well, but it makes a really nice finish. And here are some examples of stone settings that I could clean up with those gravers. So my Leica microscope is absolutely essential. When I first started making jewelry, I was just out of high school and my eyes were so good that I didn't even bother wearing a visor for up close work. But these days, magnification is great. Also, my work is a lot more detailed, so it really helps. I just remember the first time I looked through the microscope and could see my work so clearly that it just made it so much easier to be really accurate, detailed, precise, and really make things as clean and perfect as I possibly could. So it's really essential.
This series is sponsored by MJSA member Rio Grande. For even more jewelry conversation, be sure to check out Rio Grande's podcast, For the Love of Jewelers. Each month, Rio's cast of expert hosts from Rio Grande's jewelry tech team chat with industry leaders, jewelers, educators, and more as they tell their stories and talk shop. Ideal for anyone interested in jewelry. You'll gain valuable insights, discover new tools and processes, and enjoy a laugh or two along the way. Listen to For the Love of Jewelers podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or on Rio Grande's website at www.riogrande.com. Search podcasts.
Okay, so this is about as old school as it comes as far as tools are concerned, but I love my saw. In part, it's sentimental value because it was a gift from my first mentor. It's a vintage French saw frame that she refurbished for me and put a new hand-turned walnut handle on it, so it feels really nice. It's balanced really well, but I don't just use it to saw. I actually use it quite a lot for very, very precise filing. So for example, to get into the tiny, tiny little corners and clean up in these cutout pieces, sometimes I need something even more thin and precise than I needle file. So my saw blade works really well for that. And once you get the hang of it, it's great for cleanup in really precise, tiny spaces. Okay, in the category of efficiency, I love my magnetic tumbler. It really helps me to put a nice, super even finish on pieces even that have very tight little corners and spaces that are otherwise difficult to get into. So it's got stainless steel pins that are about the width of a magnetic pencil lead, and they get into those corners really beautifully and make everything a whole lot easier for me. So I think my favorite tool of all has to be my Orion Micro TIG welder. It just makes everything easier and more efficient around the studio. My origami collection is made by taking flat cutout pieces and folding them up and assembling them in different ways. So maybe more than one flat organic shaped piece soldered to another one. So they can be really difficult to solder. Before I got the TIG welder, I was always trying to jig them up in a certain way or use tweezers that I was just holding with my hand and try to keep them in place, because inevitably once you start to heat the pieces up and the flux starts to flow, they just want to slip and slide and move around and get soldered in the wrong position. So once I got the TIG welder, I could tack them in place, which really makes things easy, and it allows me to do things I think maybe I wouldn't have even been able to do at all without it. So for example, this piece, which is a brooch, has it's oxidized sterling silver, but it's got gold along the edges, but it's got more than one piece of origami, and it's got a stone in the middle and findings on the back. So it's just a lot of complicated soldering, and is made so much easier by being able to use the welder for at least some of that. So I really love it. It's a good one.